Welcome into a special edition of 15 Sports Plus. I'm Audrey, here to keep you in the loop of all that's going on in the Madison area and beyond. And it's crazy to believe that we are already in week 4 of the high school football season. But before we take a look at what's going on ahead tomorrow in week 4, let's take a look at what we've all got going on what we all had going on this last week. Mount Horeb Barneveld, they are coming on to a great, Here we go. Mount Horeb Barneveld, they are coming off of win number 2 of the season with a 28-19 win over Beaver Dam. And Darlington, not even close, 56-0. They beat Mineral Point and just continuing to have a fantastic season. For Atkinson, they fall at DeForest 47-7. Madison West heading just down the road, and that one was not even close. The Regents take this one 48-0. And Jefferson, they take on Monroe, and they beat them on their home field. 35-14 is the final. Lodi and Columbus, that would have been our game of the week last week, and it did not disappoint. It was a great game. I was there. I got to be there, and it was a great way to kick off the week 2. And everything else going on, we had Whitewater taking on McFarland. 55-8 is the final. Lancaster, they fall to Richland Center 27-26. Wauwatosa East, they fall to New Berlin Eisenhower 37-28. And Monona Grove Waunakee, that was our game of the week, and it sure did not disappoint. 14-13 into overtime. A great game over at Waunakee. And Sun Prairie West, they fall to number 10 Middleton 35-13 over Madison Memorial. Now that we're through what all went down last week, let's take a quick look at what we have going on in week 4, and it's a very, very good slate of games. Mount Horeb Barneveld back at home hosting Watertown this week. Excuse me. But before we do that, we'll go through a couple more of the games from last week. 45-7 from Potosi Cassville. They have themselves an afternoon, and River Ridge, they fall to Blackhawk Warren. It was a close game, number 4 versus number 6, 30-22 is the final. Verona shutting out Janesville Parker 30-0 is the final in Verona. Cambridge, they have themselves another great week, 24-14 on their Poinette's home field. And Oregon, they fall to Sun Prairie East. The Cardinals having themselves quite the season. I want to kind of highlight the Cardinals at this point. Number 8 heading into week 4, and they are having a little bit of issues with here. There we go. Sun Prairie East, they are having themselves a year. Led by Brian Kaminsky in his 29th year of coaching. And how about Brady Kaufman? I mean, this guy is absolutely unstoppable. Coming off of 22 rushes for 170 yards and 2 tutties. For Atkinson, they are going to have a lot of work to do containing him tomorrow night, which brings me to our next slate of games coming into the week. Let's take a look here. Watertown taking on Mount Horeb Barneveld. That will be a good one. It is going to be back at Watertown. How about 3-0 Edgewood? They're coming off of a 39-3 win over Kewaskum. Crusaders will look to make it 4-0 in week 4. They got the Fickle twins there as well. Janesville Craig versus Middleton. Verona and Madison Memorial. I'll be at both of those games. Memorial hoping to snag their first win of the season. Deerfield going to look to knock down number 6 Cambridge on their own territory. And Sun Prairie East, as we said, taking on Fort Atkinson. Now, as for the next couple of games on the docket tomorrow, we got the wrong graphic up. DeForest taking on number 9 Monona Grove, again coming off of a very close 14-13 overtime loss to Waunakee last week. Still very much a team to keep a close eye on. Speaking of Waunakee, though, they'll head over to Sun Prairie West tomorrow night, hoping to stay undefeated. Number 5 Lake Mills heading to Belleville. Now, how about Tyler Wooleen and the Elcats this season? They're coming off of a 68-0 win last week. Wooleen not in the entirety of the game, but still 218 yards and 4 touchdowns for the junior, and our athlete of the week last week. And we've got Cuba City versus Mineral Point. Madison West on the road to 0-3 Janesville Parker. And last but not least, number 6 River Ridge heading over to face the state runners-up Potosi Cassville. Currently ranked number 1 and undefeated this season. Could be a good one on our hands. Now that brings me to our game of the week this week. Number 8, Milton is heading over to Oregon to take on the 2-1 Panthers this week, and so are me and Jocko. We will be live at Oregon tomorrow at 5 and 6 to get you prepared for the stellar matchup we have in our hands tomorrow and a whole lot more. But 2 veteran quarterbacks set to face each other tomorrow night. Jake Cummins with 7 total touchdowns in his pocket, Ethan Pagels with 6 of his own throughout these first 3 weeks. It should be a good one, but one more thing, we got to take a look at our Athlete of the Week. We can't go without highlighting our 15 Sports High School Athlete of the Week this week, and this time we head out to Middleton to honor senior quarterback Joey Pasaglia. Number 7 had himself quite the week last week. In the Cardinals' 35-13 win over Memorial, Pasaglia threw for 4 touchdowns and 268 yards overall, and having himself quite the season. Even better, he says the credit goes to those around him, which is a true sign of a leader for Middleton at quarterback.
That's pretty awesome. You know, just gotta give a lot of praise to the team. Like, I wouldn't be in the position I am in right now without my offensive line giving me the protection that I've been getting. My receivers for always working with me, catching the ball. Like, we have so much chemistry with the whole offense, the whole team, and also the defense, because they've just been working their butts off this past few weeks. So just getting the ball for the offense, letting us score, and it's just one big team, one big family.
A word that defines him right is just genuine. He's just a genuine kid. You know, a young man. He's a leader. He's been voted captain by his peers, and I think all of our captains collectively, but really the senior class as well. Like, they're leading this group. They're having a good time doing it. But yeah, he's just genuine. He's the real deal.
Once again, you can catch all of the highlights every Friday in our 10 o'clock newscast for Friday Football Blitz, where we take you through the highlights of games all around the area. We will have lots more than what we covered here in this episode here. But for now, that is all I've got on our high school football coverage. We've got a whole lot of Badgers to cover, so make sure to stay with us.